Hello everyone, and welcome to the start of something truly massive. This is World Tour. Over the course of this series, we're setting out on a global journey, flying just about everything from sleek modern jets to rugged vintage props, and maybe even a few aircraft you've never seen before. This World Tour isn't just about flying. It's not just about sightseeing or racking up nautical miles. It's about stories. It's about the places we pass over, the cultures that shaped them, the histories written into their landscapes, and the people who live beneath these skies. Every leg of this journey is a window into a part of the world, its geography, its struggles, its beauty, its legacy. From ancient trade routes and sacred cities to forgotten coastlines and modern skylines, we're not just flying through airspace, we're flying through time. So as we climb out of each runway, we're not just tracking waypoints, we're tracing the paths of empires, pilgrims, explorers, and everyday lives. This is more than a flight. This is a journey through the soul of the planet. Welcome aboard. This is the World Tour. And today it all begins, right here in the heart of Sri Lanka. We're departing from Bandaranaike International Airport, VCBI, just north of Colombo in the gorgeous Cirrus Vision jet, a small but capable bird that's perfect for our first leg. Our route takes us north across the Laccadive Sea to our first stop, Trivandrum International Airport, VOTV, in southern India, a city of coastal charm and timeless tradition. But we're not done yet. After a quick turnaround on the tarmac, we hop back in and follow the spectacular Malabar Coast further north, bound for the vibrant, bustling city of Cochin, VOCI. 2 flights, 1 unforgettable day. The World Tour officially begins now, so buckle up, set your heading, and let's climb aboard.
Contact Colombo Center on 124.9er. Good day.
That's Negombo down there. Stretches of beach, calm water, and those little boats scattered out at sea. You can really see how peaceful it is from up here. Sri Lanka's west coast has such a clean, open feel. It's a beautiful way to start the tour. From up here, it's easy to forget how busy it gets on the ground. Everything looks peaceful. Sri Lanka really is something else. You've got coastline like this wrapping around the whole island, and inland it's all dense greenery, hills and little villages tucked between rivers and rice fields. It's small but incredibly diverse, beaches, mountains, rainforests, all packed into one island. You can see the lagoon near Negombo, the road cutting inland, and even the haze over Colombo further south. Honestly, for a starting point on a world tour, you couldn't ask for a better send-off. As we leave the shores of Sri Lanka behind, flying north across the Laccadive Sea toward India, it's worth remembering, this isn't just an island, it's a cradle of ancient civilization and a crossroads of culture, faith and power. People have lived here for over 30,000 years, but it was around the 5th century BCE that Sri Lanka began to take on a more familiar shape, with organised kingdoms and cities beginning to form. It was during this time that the legendary King Vijaya arrived from India, marking the beginning of recorded history and the start of the Sinhalese people, whose language and culture still dominate the island today. But perhaps no moment shaped Sri Lanka more than what happened in the 3rd century BCE, the arrival of Buddhism. It came from India during the reign of the great Emperor Ashoka, whose own son, Mahinda, travelled to the island as a monk. He met King Devanampiya Tisa Mihintale, and from that moment on, Buddhism took deep root, not just as a religion, but as a cornerstone of Sri Lankan identity. Monasteries spread across the land, and kings began to rule not just with power, but with dharma. The great city of Anuradhapura rose as the capital, a marvel of ancient urban design with vast reservoirs, towering stupas and sacred Bodhi trees. It remained the spiritual and political heart of Sri Lanka for over 1,000 years. But history here was never still. From around the 10th century CE, waves of invasions from South India, especially from the powerful Chola dynasty, shook the island. Anuradhapura eventually fell, and power shifted to a new capital, Polonnaruwa, where kings rebuilt what had been lost, blending Sinhalese traditions with South Indian influence. Even Polonnaruwa couldn't hold forever. As centuries passed, the heart of the kingdom moved, first southward to Dambadeniya, Yapahua and Kurunegala, and eventually westward and inland toward the hill country as kings sought to escape coastal threats. By the late medieval period, power centered around Kandy, a mountain stronghold surrounded by jungle and mist, which would later become the last independent kingdom during colonial times. All of this, the rise and fall of capitals, the waves of influence and resistance, the sacred relics passed from one era to the next. It's written into the hills and fields you see from above. The island below is not just land, it's memory. And now as we cross over toward India, it's a quiet moment of reflection. We're not just leaving a country, we're leaving behind thousands of years of story, of kings and monks, battles and treaties, temples and tanks. But it's all still with us, even as the blue water opens up beneath the wings. This is what flying this tour is about. Not just the journey ahead, but the long, incredible journey that each place has already taken. Sri Lanka, ancient, proud, resilient. We'll see you again. As we descend over the shimmering edge of the Indian Ocean, the first signs of the Indian mainland begin to take shape beneath the haze. This is the southern tip of Kerala, and we are on final approach into Thiruvananthapuram, once known as Trivandrum, a city where ancient heritage and coastal charm converge beneath the humid air. Below us, the coastline stretches like a golden ribbon, narrow strips of beach pressed between the sea and the lush green hills beyond. Coconut groves cluster inland, broken only by temple spires and winding village roads. It's calm, but vibrant, timeless. This region has always faced outward, toward the sea. For centuries, Kerala's shores welcomed Arab traders, Chinese fleets, Roman merchants, and Portuguese explorers. Long before borders and runways, this coast was already connected to the world, not just through trade, but through language, spices, silk, and stories. Thiruvananthapuram itself has roots that go back thousands of years. It was once part of the powerful Travancore kingdom, a realm known for its diplomacy, knowledge, and a deep devotion to the arts. Even today, it remains a cultural hub, home to classical music, Sanskrit scholarship, and one of the richest temples on earth, Padmanabhaswamy Temple, where the very name of the city originates. And now, here we are, flying in on a clear evening with golden light spilling across the tarmac and the breeze rolling in off the Arabian Sea. The sun dips lower by the minute, painting the coastline in warm, fading amber. It's a quiet moment. The first new country in our journey, a place both ancient and alive. Welcome to India. More than 2,000 years ago, this region was ruled by the Chera dynasty, whose ports were already trading with Romans, Greeks, and Chinese. Spices like pepper and cinnamon once grew wild here. So prized, they pulled ships across oceans and changed the fate of empires. Kerala's coast was never a frontier, it was a crossroads. And even as new powers rose and fell, from the Portuguese and Dutch to the British, native kingdoms like Travancore and Cochin held their ground. Travancore especially, ruled from right here in Thiruvananthapuram, became known for enlightened governance, social reform, and an unmatched devotion to the arts and education.
500.
Trivandrum Tower Horizon Whiskey Tango 02 is 2 miles southeast 400 feet with Echo to land.
And here we are, touched down at Trivandrum International Airport. Smooth flight across the water, and honestly, what a beautiful approach. You get that mix of ocean, lush greenery, and city all in one frame. Classic southern India. We're just parked up now, waiting for a friend, SLNight, who'll be joining the world tour from here. Should be wheels down any minute now. This place, Trivandrum or Thiruvananthapuram, the airport's not huge, but it's busy. International flights, domestic routes, and it's got that tropical coastal vibe that just makes you want to slow down a bit. Honestly, it feels like the tour is really starting to open up now. One country down, and a whole lot more to go. All right, we're parked up in the GA area now, and now we wait. I've got a friend joining us from here, SLNight, and he's hopping on the tour from this point forward. Honestly, this is one of the cool things about doing a world tour. You meet up with people along the way, everyone joining in from different parts of the globe. Just got a message. Looks like he's on final approach now. Once he's down, we'll be firing things back up and heading north along the coast again. Next stop, Cochin International Airport, VOCI, one of India's busiest airports and the first in the world to run entirely on solar power. Let's get ready for departure. 2 jets, 2 pilots, and a lot of coastline ahead. This journey's just getting started. We're taxiing out of Trivandrum now, heading to runway 32 for departure. The sun's dipping low over the western horizon, casting a soft orange glow across the tarmac. Shadows are stretching long, and the air's got that calm, heavy stillness that always seems to come just before nightfall. It's a beautiful time to fly. The lights are flicking on across the apron, runway edge lights already glowing faint blue. And just behind me, SLNight is finally catching up. Sort of. He's flying with a brand new Garmin setup today, and let's just say, it hasn't exactly been love at first sight. So he spent most of taxi trying to convince it that, yes, we are going to Cochin. But that's the thing about sim flying with friends. It's never just about getting from A to B. It's the little moments like this, fumbling with unfamiliar avionics as the sun sets behind you, and knowing that even if things go sideways, you're still in for a good time.
Trivandrum Tower Horizon Whiskey Tango 02 ready at runway 32 west departure.
Horizon Whiskey Tango 02, wind 322 entry. West departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 32.
Cleared for takeoff runway 32 Horizon Whiskey Tango 02.
We're both lined up now. Final checks complete. The runway ahead is glowing under the fading light, engines spooling up. And just like that, day one continues. Pushing north along the coast, leaving Trivandrum behind, and chasing the last bit of daylight toward Cochin.
Horizon Whiskey Tango 02, continue for west departure.
Trivandrum Tower Horizon Whiskey Tango 02 continue for west departure.
Horizon Whiskey Tango.
Cruising comfortably at about 6,500 feet, just north of Trivandrum, and the view out here is, honestly, hard to put into words. Off to our left, the Arabian Sea seems to stretch forever. Its surface, the sun's sinking low on the horizon now, turning the sky this perfect mix of amber, violet, and fading gold. You get that soft orange haze that only comes in this part of the world, where the ocean air carries heat well into the evening. To the right, the coastline of Kerala runs like a living ribbon. The land dotted with tiny villages, rice fields and canals, all stitched together by winding roads and ancient rivers that slowly empty into the sea. Every so often, you catch a flash of temple spires or a long, narrow fishing boat making its way back to shore before nightfall. Flying this stretch, it's like watching history from the sky. This region, known as the Malabar Coast, has been one of India's most important gateways to the world for centuries. Even 2,000 years ago, ships would sail these waters, loaded with pepper, cinnamon, turmeric and ivory, heading toward Roman ports, the Middle East and Southeast Asia. This coastline saw Chinese junks, Arab dhows and eventually Portuguese galleons, all drawn here by trade, faith and sometimes conquest. You can still feel it when you pass over this land. The way the cities are laid out, the mix of influences in architecture, European-style churches, right beside ancient Hindu temples and mosques and colonial-era buildings fading into lush green hills. We're heading toward Kochi, a city that carries all that history in its bones. Once a major spice port, it became the first European colony in India when the Portuguese arrived in the 1500s. Later, it passed through Dutch and British hands, but somehow, through it all, the soul of the place remained distinctly Kerala. That's something else you notice from up here. The rhythm of this region is different. It's slower, softer, almost like the land itself breathes a little easier. From the air, you can see the famous Kerala backwaters, a maze of rivers and lakes that stretch inland, reflecting the sky like sheets of glass. You can imagine houseboats gently gliding through those waters as the world around them slows down for the night. Up ahead, SLNight is cruising alongside me, finally getting along with his Garmin. Took a few minutes on the ground, but I think he's got it figured out now. There's something cool about flying in formation like this, just two aircraft tracing the curve of the coast, surrounded by light and silence and a whole lot of history below us. We'll be descending into Cochin soon. And that's touchdown at Cochin International Airport. Runway 27. The rollout was smooth, the light just barely hanging on in the west. Taxiing in now, and the airport's starting to glow. Apron lights flickering to life, terminal windows catching the last orange blush of the sky. Cochin is one of India's busiest airports, but right now it feels calm. Peaceful even. We're heading to the general aviation parking on the southern edge, a little quieter over here. Just the low hum of systems cooling down and that post-flight silence every pilot knows. This marks the end of leg one. Sri Lanka to southern India, 2 flights over ocean and coast, past history and beauty. Feels like the journey's just begun, but already it's been unforgettable. And now, we wait again. SLNight is inbound, joining me from Trivandrum after taking a bit of extra time to sort out his systems. Should be any minute now, you can almost feel it. That moment when another set of strobes touches down and your crew is back together. There's something special about flying with friends on a trip like this. Different aircraft, but one shared sky. And from here, the map just keeps getting bigger. This was just day one. One country crossed, another reached, and ahead, dozens more. Hundreds of cities, mountain ranges, deserts, megacities, forgotten airstrips, frozen tundra, tropical islands. The world is waiting, and we're only just off the starting line. Engines off, fuel check, flight plan for tomorrow? Already loading. Let the tour continue. I'm Alex, and this is the World Tour. See you in the second leg, where we begin our journey north along the incredible Indian coastline.